McBride was an all-star for the 5th time in her career as Boston goes backdoor to Hull, working on Williams. Hull gets it to go, and a foul.
Career high for you tonight. How'd that first half feel, especially with 18 and just 20 minutes of play?
I mean, it obviously feels good, I think, for me, just playing with confidence. We're missing people, so everyone's got to do a little bit extra, be a little bit more aggressive offensively. So that was my mindset going in, and obviously it feels good to see the ball go through the net.
Okay, this is wild. Lexie Hull just had the game of her life, and the Fever were riding high with all this momentum. But then, it all came crashing down way too fast. Not only did Indiana totally give up a massive run in the third quarter, they also lost 2 more key players, Chloe Bibby and Odyssey Sims. And that's on top of an already brutal list that includes Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and Erie McDonald. We're talking 6 rotation players gone now, leaving the Fever incredibly shorthanded, right in the middle of a playoff race. There was definitely some fight in them, but it got totally overshadowed by frustration. Post-game, Coach Stephanie White called Hull aggressive, while Lexi herself got really honest about having to step up with the team so depleted. At the same time, questions were swirling about the coaching decisions that let yet another halftime lead just vanish. So what exactly did Lexie Hull say that has the entire team fired up? If you support Lexi and the Fever, then comment Lexie Show. Let's go.
Second All-Star appearance was right here in Indianapolis back in July. Oh, looking inside for Boston. She will launch and knock down a 3. Lexie Hull's hit a pair. Yeah, end of that game, but foul line continues to flummox Smith here this year. Here's Hull backdoor, puts on the brakes and lay it in. It's a Lexie Hull show here in the...
But hold up, Lexie Hull's breakout performance became the unexpected heartbeat of this entire game. On a night when Indiana's roster was basically stripped down to nothing, she delivered the best showing of her young career, dropping a crazy 23 points on 9 of 16 shooting, including 4 of 7 from three-point range, all while logging nearly 37 minutes. And against a Minnesota team that's absolutely stacked with depth and experience, Hull just looked completely unfazed, stepping into the moment with so much confidence and purpose.
Lex, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and then the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
I mean, you played a lot too, Kels. When did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people, so everyone's got to do a little more.
Yeah.
For you offensively, was the plan to kind of try and get some looks inside early to get yourself going and then start working from the outside, or was that just kind of how the game set itself up?
Just to read the defense, you know. I think I got some really good passes on the back cuts, and that's a testament to my teammates, you know, finding me, but keeping moving, just reading whatever they're given.
From the opening tip, she played like someone who was absolutely determined to be more than just a role player. Her early threes barely touched the rim on their way down, and she grabbed easy looks with these super sharp backdoor cuts that left Minnesota totally caught off guard. She already had 18 points by halftime, basically carrying much of Indiana's offense when they were setting the tone. And the best part, the scoring came when it mattered most, while the game was still totally in reach, not in some garbage time after everything was already decided.
In Chloe Bibby's absence, you'll likely see a lot of Turner on the floor here today as Lexie Hull launches and hits. It's a 3-point parade going in. Here is Hull. Look how aggressive Lexie Hull has been here in the first half. That was her 8th shot. Lexie Hull with all the confidence in the world. Petty, wide open. Oh, yes.
What really blew my mind wasn't just how many points she scored, but the way she got them. Hull completely refused to be one-dimensional out there. She sprinted through open lanes, she crashed the glass with force, and she constantly made defenders chase after her. Indiana definitely leaned on her heavier than usual, and she showed everyone she could absolutely handle it. This was way more than just luck or some random shooting night. Her energy and pure assertiveness gave the Fever an emotional lift they desperately needed.
16 in the first half for McBride. Hull catch and shoot, knocks down another. 18 for Hull. That is a new season.
Afterward, Hull herself explained she was just trying to read the defense and make the right play, knowing that all the injuries meant she simply had to carry more than her usual role. Coach Stephanie White noticed it too, praising her for being aggressive and for the first time this season, really hunting for shots. That shift in mindset made all the difference. Hull wasn't waiting for the game to come to her anymore. She was actively taking it.
Lexie Hull tonight, career high for her, just especially effective there early on. What were you seeing from her performance?
She was aggressive. I mean, she was hunting shots. She was aggressive to the rim. You know, she knew we needed another scorer on the floor, and because of the attention that Kelsey and AB get, she was getting free and she was hunting shots, and that's what we're going to need from her.
For a stretch in that first half, the Fever genuinely felt alive in a way they haven't in weeks. Hull was drilling jumpers. Kelsey Mitchell was creating offense like crazy, and the bench erupted after every single make like they were on the verge of something truly special. Fans watching could totally sense it. The confidence Hull played with was contagious, sparking a belief that maybe, just maybe, this team still had a punch to throw.
Turner with the offensive rebound. Hull is wide open and knocks down.
But here's the catch. That spark wasn't nearly enough to cover the massive cracks surrounding her. As great as her night was, one player's surge cannot patch the holes left by a roster completely gutted with injuries. Indiana needed Hull to be a hero, and she absolutely gave them that, but the weight of everything else caught up fast. That second-half promise ran into a much bigger problem, one that's sadly been the theme of the Fever's entire season. The only reason Hull's big night stood out so much is because of just how incredibly thin the Fever's roster has become. The injuries have come in waves and left this group barely holding a rotation together. Caitlin Clark has been sidelined since July 15th with a groin injury. Sophie Cunningham went down with a torn MCL that required surgery. Sydney Colson's entire year ended with a left ACL tear, and Erie McDonald was shut down because of a foot injury. That's 4 players gone before this game even tipped off. And then, in the span of just one night, things somehow got even worse. Chloe Bibby felt soreness in her left knee during warm-ups and was held out as a precaution, while Odyssey Sims exited in the fourth quarter and never returned, awaiting further evaluation.
Just obviously Chloe Bibby, a late addition to the injury report. Just when did that injury happen, or do you know the severity at this point?
Felt something during pregame, and so holding her out as a precaution. We don't know anything, so hopefully we'll get some more information tomorrow when she can be seen.
Had she been dealing with any soreness or anything like that in previous days, the week leading up to tonight?
Yeah, I think everybody's dealing with soreness at this point in the year. But yeah, I had been dealing with a little bit of knee soreness, and again, just want to make sure that we're cautious and figure out what's going on before she gets out there.
That brutal sequence left Hull as the only regular wing player left standing, forcing the Fever to cobble together lineups on the fly. Bibby's absence meant they lost one of the few forwards who could give them any balance at all, and Sims going out took away the only veteran point guard they had available. Indiana suddenly had to hand heavy minutes to young guards and recent hardship signees. When Sims called for a sub late in the game, Shea Petty had to come in and essentially run the offense, despite having only just joined the team on a 7-day hardship contract. Bibby herself was only signed earlier this month, which is just another stark reminder of how incredibly thin this bench is right now.
What do you know about Odyssey after, I think she left the game and didn't return? Is she injured? What's up with that?
Yeah, no, we don't know anything yet. She's going to get evaluated tomorrow, so we'll see.
With regards to Odyssey, do you have any ideas of what it was she tweaked? Was it a groin or any?
I have no idea. I just heard her say I need a sub, and so I got Shea up there.
And the ripple effects were obvious. Hull played extended minutes as the lone wing option, while Brianna Turner and Michaela Timpson were thrown into difficult matchups far outside their usual roles. Possessions immediately turned shaky because the guards on the floor simply didn't have the comfort or familiarity to initiate sets cleanly. By the third quarter, fatigue really started to show. Simple ball movement broke down. Aaliyah Boston fought hard to get position inside, but passes arrived late, at the wrong angle, or sometimes not at all. Head coach Stephanie White openly admitted that they are trying to integrate 2 new point guards into the system mid-season, and the disconnection was absolutely clear. Plays that used to flow so smoothly with Clark now ended in rushed jumpers or unforced turnovers.
Don't think you want to play Lexi 40 minutes. How can you handle the wing without Chloe tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to do it by committee. Bree Turner can guard 5 positions, so she'll be out there defensively. We've got to try to manipulate lineups a little bit more to figure out who we can stretch the floor with. So probably on the floor at the same time as Didi in a lot of things that we do. But again, if it's not going to be space in the floor in the half court, we've got to be able to get our defense to create some offensive transition opportunities. That doesn't always have to be steals for scores, but we've got to get missed shots that allow us to get out, run out, and try to create some things in transition.
And trust me, the tolls stretch to the defensive side too. With so many extended shifts and unusual lineups, legs just got heavy. Players rotated late, and Minnesota punished every single breakdown. The sense around this team feels incredibly fragile. Fans and players alike know that every fresh injury lands like another crushing blow to any realistic playoff push. Yet the group is still trying to rally in small ways. The MVP Kelsey shirts, worn pre-game, served as a spark of pride, a sign that they haven't stopped fighting. But here's the brutal truth. Pride alone doesn't replace the bodies they're missing. And that meant the burden shifted directly onto the remaining core, with veterans and newcomers alike scrambling to plug the holes left behind.
Goodness, I was taken back. It was fun. It was funny. I was very humbled. I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with. And to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know because I have been here the longest I have. Everything that people talk about, I have been. And to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, I have value somewhere. And I feel like they make me feel like, I'm important to them and vice versa. And so that value means everything to me. And anybody knows me, I'm a loyal type person. And so I'm going to forever look at them like forever friends after something like that.
But here's where it gets interesting. When everything seemed stacked against Indiana, a few key players still managed to truly rise to the occasion. Lexie Hull absolutely stole the spotlight with her career-high 23 points in 37 minutes. But she definitely wasn't carrying the weight alone. Kelsey Mitchell fueled the offense with another commanding performance. Aaliyah Boston anchored the paint as best she possibly could, and newcomer Shea Petty provided an unexpected spark in her Fever debut. Together, they formed the backbone of a team just trying to stay afloat under impossible circumstances.
But she has managed everything so well, and not only the players resilient, but she's been resilient.
And so too is Kelsey Mitchell, who knocks down
in transition.
Austin and Carlton collide. No whistle either way. Mitchell fires away.
Let me break this down for you. Mitchell once again played like the absolute engine of this group. She led all scorers with 27 points, added 5 assists, and drilled 5 of 7 from 3, forcing Minnesota to account for her every single trip across half court. Before the game, her teammates honored her impact by wearing MVP Kelsey shirts during arrivals, a rare show of recognition for a true franchise cornerstone. Mitchell admitted afterward how much it meant to her, saying, "They make me feel like I'm important to them and vice versa. That value means everything to me." With Clark out and the roster battered, she backed up those words by refusing to let the Fever fold, even as defensive pressure mounted.
Only in first place in the league. The only team that has already clinched a spot in the playoffs, obviously we know there's others. And McBride just reads it and eats it up.
Mitchell launches and knocks down a 3. It's Mitchell's 4th.
Meanwhile, what about Aaliyah Boston? Her stat line wasn't explosive, but it was incredibly steady. 15 points and 6 rebounds across long stretches without any help in the front court rotation. Her consistency gave Indiana at least some presence on the inside. Though critics did note her defense didn't carry the dominance we've come to expect from an all-star. Still, considering how little margin for error the Fever had, Boston's ability to battle through fatigued minutes definitely kept the team from being completely overwhelmed in the paint.
Here's Boston backing her way inside, spins, fades, fires, and hits. Well, rebound a moment ago from Jessica Shepard. Third quarter, they are shooting 61% on the night. Boston pulls down the offensive rebound, and Indiana.
But wait until you hear about this player. Then came the real surprise of the night, Shea Petty. Just signed on a hardship contract. She had barely been able to practice with the group before being thrown into a live game. And yet, she delivered. Petty scored 10 points, hit 3 of 4 from behind the arc, and showed the kind of aggressiveness that drew praise from Coach Stephanie White after the game. Her composure on catch and shoot looks gave Indiana an instant lift. Still, the rest of the point guard duties definitely revealed her inexperience. Running the offense and directing flow was still a major work in progress.
Mitchell in the second half and that overtime.
Well, we know she can heat it up.
Oh, Petty shaking off Carrington, and she hits her first shot with the fever. It's a corner three, and Indiana's opened up 4 for 5 from the three-point. Fever on the night are shooting 69%. Look at Turner running the floor like a guard. Kick out Petty. Oh, yeah!
Hall's hot hand, Mitchell's leadership, Boston's steadiness, and Petty's unexpected debut all gave the Fever these incredible moments where it looked like they might just punch above their weight. So, let me ask you, which of these role players do you want to see earn more minutes as the season goes on? Yet, here's the brutal truth. Those flashes of support weren't enough to turn the tide. The Fever's biggest problems didn't come from who showed up, but from what completely unraveled once halftime ended. That's when all the momentum they had built was ripped away, and the night shifted in a way they simply couldn't recover from.
Mitchell slicing through, handoff Boston, who lays it in.
Kelsey Mitchell has to make decisions right now.
The field, they're 9 of 21 from the three-point line. Boston spins inside, and she's got back-to-back buckets.
Okay, so what really happened in that second half? The breakdown in this game wasn't just about players running out of energy. It exposed how coaching decisions, or honestly, the lack of them, can completely shift an outcome. The Fever had the lead going into halftime, but Minnesota absolutely blew the doors open right after. The Lynx outscored Indiana a staggering 32-17 in the third quarter alone, erasing all the progress from the first half and flipping control in a matter of minutes.
Both Hull and McBride are slow to get up on the other end. It's 4-on-4. 2 more for Boston. Petty looking inside, finds Hull. Boston, deep position, 2 more!
What Minnesota did was simple, but incredibly effective. They spread the floor, attacked straight-line drives, and hit the offensive glass with purpose. Indiana, on the other hand, just totally struggled to respond. Their defensive rotations were late, box-outs mysteriously disappeared, and Aaliyah Boston was left stranded under the rim against multiple bodies. Possession after possession, the Lynx got second chances and rhythm jumpers that broke Indiana apart. The lack of adjustments on Indiana's side really sticks out. Coverages stayed the same, pressure was light, and Minnesota took full advantage. That's where the conversation absolutely shifts back to the sideline. Fans and analysts were quick to point fingers at head coach Stephanie White. Once again, Indiana had a strong first half, only to collapse after halftime without visible changes in their game plan. This hasn't been a one-off. It's a frustrating pattern this season, where early momentum just evaporates when opponents adjust, and Indiana simply doesn't counter.
The lulls that you obviously mentioned just now, and how you guys want to make those lulls obviously not
Shorter.
as bad. Just what can the team do on the floor? What can you guys as a coaching staff do in the moment to kind of break those up?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's timeouts. Some of it's substitution matchups, although we don't have a lot of those. And some of it's just attention to detail. I mean, championship teams, their attention to detail throughout the course of 40 minutes is there for the most part. And we're learning how to do that.
White herself, though, didn't shy away when asked afterward. She admitted there were moments where we had some breakdowns in personnel D and cited turnovers as a turning point. She also pointed out that Indiana is working in new point guards who've practiced with the team only a handful of times, meaning the offense and defensive communication aren't as sharp as they need to be. That explanation definitely adds context. It isn't purely about sluggish decision-making in the huddle. There's also a real roster survival element, with players learning roles on the fly. Still, if you're a fan, your patience is probably wearing thin. You see Boston stuck with 2 defenders at the rim, closeouts consistently a step late, and opponents dictating games in the third quarter while adjustments never seem to come. Injuries make everything harder. Yes, but the frustration builds when the same flaws repeat game after game.
Our players bust their ass. Like, they battle every single game. And they just, It's a couple minutes here and there. You got to play a 40-minute game. But this is a special group of women, man, with what they've been going through and everything that they've had to continue to overcome, and to put ourselves in position. You know, it could have been real easy to fold in that third quarter when they broke it open. To put ourselves in position, you know, to come back to compete to win a ball game. I mean, it's no matter what it happens, win or lose. The roots that this group is forming culturally, the roots that they're forming in terms of competitive spirit and what it means to compete at this level. I mean, those are what allow us to withstand these storms. And you know, the numbers tell a story, but you know, their hearts and their character tell another one.
And here's the uncomfortable truth. The clock on the season is ticking. The Fever remain in 6th place, but as Athlon reported, they're only half a game ahead of 7th, and just about 1.5 games clear of 9th. That's the danger zone. Every loss like this chips away at their playoff window, and the margin for error is nearly gone. So now, I have to ask you, is this on the coach for being too slow to adjust? Or is it a roster simply too broken by injuries to be judged fairly? Tell me which side you're on below, because while this chapter raises more doubts than answers, one player's performance offered at least a different kind of storyline worth holding on to.
No matter what it happens, win or lose, the roots that this group is forming culturally, the roots that they're forming in terms of competitive spirit and what it means to compete at this level. I mean, those are what allow us to withstand these storms. And you know, the numbers tell a story, but you know, their hearts and their character tell another one.
Lexie Hull's career night didn't just fill a box score. It showed what a deeper version of this roster could actually look like. Fans finally saw her step into the spotlight, and alongside Kelsey Mitchell's 27 points and Aaliyah Boston's steady 15-6, there were flashes of a foundation worth believing in. Still, the urgency is real. The Fever face Minnesota again on Sunday, and dropping back-to-back games could totally erase their narrow playoff cushion. Lexi gave us reason to believe. Now they still have to prove they can finish. If you support Lexi and the Fever, then comment Lexi Show. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.